The mystery of a woman lies in her sensuality, and sensuality lies in the center of the feminine energy. And the moment I found the Emmanuelle's movie series, I have realized that this is probably the best source to learn sensuality from. And that's to say, the character Emmanuelle is both incredibly feminine and sensual. And today we will explore sensuality through the fourth movie of Emmanuelle. In Emmanuelle 4, sensuality takes center stage, exploring themes of desire, identity, and freedom. The film continues the iconic Emmanuelle saga, where sensuality is not just about physical intimacy, but also a journey of self-discovery and personal transformation. Sensuality, eroticism, and feminine allure that have characterized the franchise from the beginning are a central topic of which of the Emmanuelle's movies. And with its exotic locations, evocative cinematography, and a narrative that blends eroticism with emotional depth, Emmanuelle 4 dives into the complexities of attraction, the power of fantasy, and the boundaries of love. And so, with the introduction out of the way, let's dive right into the video. And point number 1 is feminine sensuality and identity. One of the film's central themes revolves around femininity and its intimate link to sensuality. Emmanuelle's journey is deeply tied to her identity as a woman, both in how she perceives herself and how others view her. Throughout the series, Emmanuelle is portrayed as a figure of feminine power. However, in Emmanuelle 4, this power is nuanced by questions of transformation and change. The plot itself revolves around Emmanuelle undergoing a radical physical transformation, assuming a new identity through plastic surgery to escape her past life. This metamorphosis is symbolic, not just of external beauty, but of the feminine identity. Emmanuelle's decision to alter her appearance brings up a tension between the mutable nature of physical femininity and the enduring essence of sensuality and sexual freedom. It actually highlights the duality in the experience of being a woman, the society's emphasis on external beauty and the internal sense of self. The physical transformation of Emmanuelle highlights the subject of the societal expectations towards female body and the beauty standards. However, through this movie, we learn that despite the societal pressure, true sensuality and feminine power moves far beyond physical appearance. And so Emmanuelle remains a potent symbol of desire and autonomy, no matter how she looks. Moving on, point number 2 is exploration of sensuality. At the core of Emmanuelle 4 is an intricate exploration of sensuality, and the movie continues the erotic tradition set by the earlier films, focusing on Emmanuelle's journey of self-discovery through her body and relationships. And so sensuality in Emmanuelle 4 is portrayed as multifaceted. More than just physical pleasure, it dives into the psychological and emotional dimensions of intimacy. Emmanuelle's pursuit of sexual freedom and personal liberation is led with moments that suggest a deeper yearning for connection, self-knowledge, and explored through erotic encounters. And unlike conventional erotic films that might focus solely on visuals, Emmanuelle 4, as much as the previous movies, present a more dreamlike quality to its portrayal of sensual experience. The film's camera work accentuates softness and slow gestures, creating an almost meditative atmosphere around acts of intimacy. This work elevates the sexual experiences depicted in the movie, portraying them not simply as moments of pleasure but as transformative, almost spiritual events. The slow, deliberate pace of many of those scenes evokes a sense of prolonged desire and the lingering nature of sensual experience, allowing viewers to dwell into the eroticism without a sense of rush gratification. And now, moving on, point number 3 is desire and power. Another key element in the film's sensuality is the interplay of desire and power. Emmanuelle 4 is not just about the the gratification of physical urges, but also about the dynamics of control, submission, and dominance within relationships. Emmanuelle's encounters with different lovers, both male and female, reflects a broader exploration of power dynamics in sexual relationships. At times, Emmanuelle is the seductress, fully in control of the erotic narrative, while at other moments she surrenders to the passions of others, experiencing pleasure through submission. I think we can say that this fluctuation between control and surrender is a hallmark of the film's approach to sensuality. It actually speaks to a broader narrative about the complexity of sexual relationships and the give and take in intimate encounters. And so sensuality in this film is as much about giving oneself over to desire as it is about mastering it. Emmanuelle's ability to navigate this duality reflects a deep understanding of her own sensual power, reinforcing her as a figure of feminine strength even within moments of vulnerability. Moving on, point number 4 is cinematic representation of sensuality and femininity. The cinematic style of Emmanuelle 4 plays a very important role in enhancing the themes of sensuality and femininity. Even the film's visuals is characterized by soft lighting, beautiful tropical landscapes, and intimate close-ups, which together create a sensual, immersive environment. The natural beauty of the locations mirrors the natural beauty of the female form that are often depicted in this very unhurried manner. I think this contrast and those qualities make the Emmanuelle movies very feminine and sensual, and it perfectly aligns with the film's thematic preoccupation with femininity, particularly the idea of the feminine as something soft, liquid, and ever-changing. Especially the emphasis on curves, skin, and sensations throughout the film shows the idea that femininity itself is closely tied to the body and its capacity for pleasure. However, the film does not reduce femininity to only physicality. Instead, it uses the body as a canvas for expressing deeper emotional and psychological states, which are in the center of all sensuality. Emmanuelle's body then becomes a site of transformation, exploration, and ultimately liberation. And now the last point number 5, is the duality of femininity. And so Emmanuelle 4 also dives into the duality of femininity between the virginal and the femme fatale, the sexual, the innocent and the experienced, the object and the agent. And Emmanuelle herself embodies this duality. And as we said before, she is once an object of desire, admired for her physical beauty, but also an active agent, pursuing her own pleasure and defining her sexual boundaries. I think this tension between passivity and agency is a recurring theme in the film and perfectly reflects the relationship between the light feminine energy and the dark feminine energy. Also, by portraying Emmanuelle as a woman in control of her sexuality, this movie challenges traditional notions of femininity as passive or submissive. And her transformation and her erotic encounters and her ultimate search for fulfillment all speak to a woman who refuses to be confined by societal expectations. Instead, Emmanuelle embodies a more liquid and empowered version of femininity, the one that embraces desire without shame and seeks liberation through sensual experience. And now, on a final note, I think the Emmanuelle movies perfectly explore sensuality through erotic images, but also the way they dive into deeper questions of feminine identity, power, and transformation. In the Emmanuelle series, the portrayal of sensuality is both physical and emotional, offering a vision of desire that is very nuanced and complex. And also through our main character Emmanuelle, this movie presents a nuanced view of femininity, one that embraces both the power and the vulnerability in the sexual expression. The Emmanuelle's journey also proves that sexuality and femininity are ever-evolving forces deeply connected to personal liberation and self-awareness. And with the beautiful aesthetic of those movies, soft and beautiful music and camera movement, as much as has the interesting plot. I think those movies are a perfect source for us women to explore the topic of sensuality. And so if you are interested to explore this topic with me, I invite you to follow my sensuality playlist on my channel, where we will further explore more of Emmanuelle's movies as much as other that fits the subject. I have also already done a few videos about Emmanuelle, and I will link them down below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.